Hi, I'm Kevin, and in today's Ghost Survival Tips Episode 1, we are going to be discussing survival shelters. Now, survival shelters is the number one priority I have in my PSS system, which is a system that I use to determine what am I going to put in my systems and my kits. The very top of the ladder is shelters. Shelters are very important because they can protect you from weather, they can protect you from the elements, and you can survive in the wilderness in a shelter. It may not be comfortable, but you can survive in one without fire. Now, in some instances, fire is going to be very important as well, but to me, shelter is your number one priority, no matter what you're doing. Whenever you're talking about a survival type situation, when you're in real trouble. I'm not talking about just going out and day hiking and stuff like that, or just going out into the woods just to do something. I'm talking about an actual survival situation. One of the best shelters that I found is quick and it's simple to set up. You don't want something that's going to take an hour to set up. You only want something that's going to take a few minutes. And one of the best shelters that I found for that is the Ridgeline tarp shelter. You can go to Walmart and buy the stuff for probably 10 to 20 bucks. I mean, just get you a cheap tarp and some rope and you've got it. It's very quick to put up. I do suggest though, for any shelter that you're planning on using, whether it be for survival, a survival kit, a emergency kit, a backpacking type system or whatnot, that you practice putting up these shelters. If you don't, you're going to be in a world of hurt, because sometimes it takes a few times of putting them up and learning what you need to do and what you don't need to do. I found that out, myself, dealing with the hammock system that I've been using here lately, and the tarp, along with the tarp system. The tarp system kind of got to be a little bit of a hassle to learn how to do. So you might have to what's the word I'm looking for? Sorry, my mind just went completely blank. You may have to modify your system a little bit in order to make it quick and easy to set up, and that's what I learned with the hammock system. My first one that I would recommend is, of course, the tarp. I just got through discussing that. My second one is usually a ready-made shelter, something like a small A-frame tent like the Stand Sport Scout tent, or maybe one of the Eureka Solitaire, I think is what they're called, tents. Those seem to be very, very good, and they're real quick to put up. All you gotta do is put a couple tent poles together and stake them out, and it usually takes about anywhere from 5 to 10 minutes to do. Something that you can put up really quick in case like a storm or something blows up. An example of what you don't want is right back here. I guess you can see kind of the top of it back here. It's a dome tent. It's supposed to be a backpacking dome tent. It's okay. It's kind of hard to put up, just one person is what I found, and what I that's what I was doing back here, was practicing putting this tent up and testing it out overnight last night. And these tents are okay if you have a partner working with you. If you have two people, you can put it up pretty quick. But the biggest problem that I found with them is that they're bigger, and usually it takes two people to get it set up pretty quick. The next system that I would say that could be a possibility would be a hammock. They're very packable. They're not too heavy for the most part, depending on what kinds you get. And they work well in conjunction with the tarp as well, with the tarp setup. Some of them actually come with a tarp built into them, so you can kind of check those out for yourself. Look on Amazon. I found a lot of those at Amazon, sport goods stores, whatnot. But a hammock system is a very good system too to have. It's all you need is 2 trees to set it up, and there you go. You've got yourself a pretty decent shelter. If you have to shelter overnight, that would be something I would do overnight, but you could probably use it just to weather a storm or something. You got your hammock there, you can sit in it and just wait the storm out underneath the tarp. So those are 3 systems. The next one I would say would be like a natural type shelter, but that thing's going to take time to build, and that's something that you would probably use if you were out in the woods and you are going to have to spend a night or two out there, if you got hurt or something, and you could probably get away with building a natural type shelter such as a debris hut or lean-to, something of that type of nature. But that would be my last resort. You know, like I said, shelters are very important. Like I said, you can survive out in the woods in a shelter if it's the right kind of shelter. You might not be comfortable, but you can survive. You can survive without fire out there. I apologize about the dogs, but I can't do nothing about it. So just in conclusion, that's the reason why I put shelter as my #1 priority whenever I do anything out in the woods. And that would be my best tip for you, is if something goes wrong when you're out hiking, when you're out in the woods, and you know that it may be a while before help gets to you, or you can't get yourself out, build a shelter. Have a something with you, such as this tarp or such as a small backpacking tent or whatnot, in order to have a shelter ready made. That's one of my best tips that I can give you.